Leadership begins from within, not from a title or position. This truth challenges everything society teaches about power and success. From an early age, many people are conditioned to believe that leadership is something given by external authority. They think leadership belongs only to those with impressive titles, large followings, or visible power. But the reality is far deeper and far more personal. Leadership is first a decision before it ever becomes a designation. True leadership is born in the invisible space of the heart and mind. It begins when a person decides to take responsibility for their own life. It starts when someone looks at their circumstances and refuses to blame others, refuses to make excuses, and refuses to surrender to fear. This inner decision creates a shift. A person stops seeing themselves as a victim of life and begins seeing themselves as a creator of change. When leadership starts from within, it is not dependent on applause. It does not rise and fall with public opinion. It is rooted in values, character, and purpose. A person who leads from within does the right thing, even when no one is watching. They hold themselves to a higher standard because their conscience demands it, not because someone is forcing them. Titles can give authority, but they cannot give influence. Influence comes from who you are, not what you are called. People follow those they trust, and trust is built through consistency, honesty, and integrity. When your actions match your words, when your behavior reflects your beliefs, people naturally begin to respect you. That respect is the foundation of real leadership. Leadership from within also means mastering yourself before trying to master others. You cannot guide someone to discipline if your own life is undisciplined. You cannot inspire courage if you are constantly running from your fears. You cannot teach growth if you refuse to grow. The greatest leadership battle is fought inside your own mind every single day. There will be moments when no one recognizes your effort. No one praises your sacrifices. No one sees the silent struggles you face. But leadership from within keeps you moving forward anyway. You understand that your purpose is bigger than recognition. When leadership begins inside you, it becomes unstoppable. No one can take it away. No one can vote it out. No one can silence it. You carry it wherever you go. You do not need permission to lead. You do not need a platform to begin. You do not need perfect conditions. All you need is a decision to live with integrity, a decision to take responsibility, a decision to become better every day. That is where leadership truly begins. Personal discipline and self-growth are the foundation of true leadership. Without discipline, leadership collapses. Without growth, leadership becomes empty. A person cannot lead others to a place they have never been willing to go themselves. The journey of leadership always begins with self-mastery. Discipline is the ability to control your actions, even when your feelings try to control you. It is choosing what is hard now instead of what is easy now. It is waking up early when you want to sleep. It is staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It is committing to your goals, even when motivation fades. Many people wait to feel inspired before they take action. Leaders act even when they do not feel inspired. They understand that consistency builds power. Small, disciplined actions repeated daily create massive results over time. Self-growth is the partner of discipline. Discipline keeps you moving. Growth keeps you evolving. A leader who stops growing becomes a danger, not a guide. The world is constantly changing, and leaders must be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Growth requires humility. It requires admitting that you do not know everything. It requires being open to feedback, even when it is uncomfortable. It requires the courage to look at your weaknesses and decide to improve instead of hiding from them. True leaders invest in their minds. They read, they study, they listen, they observe. They seek wisdom, not just information. They understand that knowledge without application is useless. What matters is what you do with what you learn. Personal discipline also builds trust. When people see that you are consistent, reliable, and committed, they begin to believe in you. They know that you will show up even when things get difficult. That reliability becomes your silent resume. There will be days when growth feels slow, days when progress feels invisible. But leaders do not quit in those seasons. They understand that roots grow underground before trees rise above ground. Every great leader you admire had to conquer themselves before they ever influenced others. They had to overcome laziness, fear, doubt, and comfort. If you want to lead, start with your daily habits. Start with how you use your time. Start with how you talk to yourself. Start with what you choose to focus on. Master yourself, and you will earn the right to help others rise. That is the foundation of true leadership. Real leaders lead by example, not by control. Control creates fear. Example creates respect. Fear may force people to obey for a moment, but respect inspires people to follow for a lifetime. The greatest leaders in history did not rise because they dominated others. They rose because they demonstrated the way forward through their own actions. People learn more from what you do than from what you say. You can give powerful speeches, make bold promises, and share big visions. But if your life does not reflect your words, your influence disappears. Leadership is not about perfection, but it is about alignment. Your actions must align with your values. Leading by example means living the standards you expect from others. If you expect honesty, be honest. If you expect hard work, work hard. If you expect respect, show respect. Leadership is not standing above people and pointing fingers. It is walking beside them and showing what is possible. When you lead by example, you earn trust. Trust is the currency of leadership. Without it, no vision can survive. People follow those they believe in, and belief is built when they see consistency over time. Leading by example also requires courage. It is easy to talk about change. It is hard to become the change. It is easy to criticize what is wrong. It is harder to model what is right. But true leaders accept this responsibility. They understand that their life is a living message. Control-based leadership depends on power. Example-based leadership depends on character. Power can be taken away. Character cannot. A leader who relies only on position loses influence when the position disappears. A leader who relies on character carries influence wherever they go. When you lead by example, you give others permission to rise. Your discipline inspires their discipline. Your courage awakens their courage. Your kindness encourages their kindness. You may never know how many lives you touch, but your impact will echo through generations. There will be moments when your example feels unnoticed, moments when no one applauds your effort. But leadership is not about applause. It is about impact. If you want to lead, start with your own life. Start with your attitude. Start with your habits. Start with your choices. Become the person you want others to become. That is what it means to lead by example. Courage to stand for what is right defines a leader. Leadership is not proven in moments of comfort. It is revealed in moments of pressure, when it is easy to remain silent, when it is safer to blend in, when speaking up may cost reputation, comfort, or opportunity. In these moments, true leadership is tested. Many people know what is right, but few are willing to defend it. Knowing is not enough. Believing is not enough. A leader is someone who is willing to take a stand, even when they stand alone. Standing for what is right requires moral courage. Moral courage is the strength to choose principle over popularity. It is the willingness to lose approval in order to keep integrity. It is deciding that your values are not for sale. There will be times when the crowd is moving in the wrong direction. It takes courage to walk the opposite way. It takes courage to say, "This is wrong," when everyone else says, "This is normal." It takes courage to protect the weak, to defend the voiceless, and to challenge injustice. Leadership is not about being loud. It is about being firm. It is not about attacking others. It is about standing on truth. True leaders do not seek conflict, but they do not run from it when righteousness is at stake. Courage does not mean absence of fear. Every leader feels fear. Courage means moving forward despite fear. It means acting even when your hands are shaking and your heart is racing. History honors those who chose courage over comfort, not because they were perfect, but because they were faithful to what they believed was right. Standing for what is right also requires consistency. You cannot be brave in public and silent in private. Integrity means being the same person in every situation. There will be a price for courage. You may lose friends. You may face criticism. You may feel misunderstood. But you will gain something greater: self-respect. A leader can lose everything else and still stand tall if they have integrity. If you want to lead, decide what you stand for. Decide what you will not compromise. Decide what kind of legacy you want to leave. Because when everything else fades, your character remains. That is why courage defines a leader. Leadership is a choice you make every day. It is not a single decision made once in a lifetime. It is a daily commitment to live with purpose, discipline, and responsibility. You do not wake up one morning and suddenly become a leader forever. You become a leader by choosing leadership again and again, especially on difficult days. Every day presents you with a choice. You can choose comfort or growth. You can choose excuses or responsibility. You can choose fear or courage. These small choices shape the direction of your life. Over time, they define who you become. Leadership is built in ordinary moments. It is built in how you treat people. It is built in how you respond to problems. It is built in how you handle failure. It is built in how you manage success. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will feel unsure. Leaders do not wait for perfect feelings. They act according to their values, not their emotions. Choosing leadership means choosing the harder path when the easier path is available. It means doing what is right even when no one will ever know. It means staying committed when quitting would be simpler. You will fail at times. You will make mistakes. But leadership is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. It is about learning from failure instead of being defeated by it. Every time you choose honesty over lying, you choose leadership. Every time you choose effort over laziness, you choose leadership. Every time you choose kindness over bitterness, you choose leadership. These choices may seem small, but they are powerful. Leadership is also a lifelong journey. You never arrive at a final destination where growth stops. There is always more to learn, always more to improve, always more ways to serve. The question is not, are you perfect? The question is, are you willing? Willing to grow, willing to change, willing to lead yourself. Because when you can lead yourself, you can influence others. And that influence begins with one simple choice, the choice to lead today.